Okay, this is how you install one of the leveling mechanisms to your 8B piece. You can put up to 4 leveling mechanisms onto one 8B piece. So first we're going to have to thread the 8B piece. But if we were to thread it forwards, like it's going to be when it's done on the Ultimaker, um, if we were to thread it the correct way, um, it's not going. Chances are it will not line up with the leveling mechanism because you'll thread it and it'll be off more one way on this side, maybe more one way on that side, and then it won't line up perfectly with the leveling mechanism. And especially if the leveling mechanism has any warping on the corner, where causing the hole to be crooked, then it for sure won't line up at all. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to thread it in reverse, but we're not going to thread it with the correct bolts either. We're going to thread it with, instead of 30 millimeter bolts, we're going to have to thread it in reverse with 20 or 25 millimeter bolts, preferably 25 millimeter M3 button socket bolts, because the 30 millimeter ones are too long and they won't fit. So first you have to line up. The most important part is in threading this is to always have the Teflon piece lined up perfectly inside the hole, and you have to make sure that while you're doing your thread, that the top of the clamp stays parallel with the top of, or as close to parallel as possible with the top of the, or the bottom of the 8B piece, so that you don't have the thing coming in crooked. Okay, so I'm gonna do that right now. So I'm gonna line the Teflon hole with the hole, and then I'm going to put in the first I'm going to stick the 20 or 25 millimeter metric bolt in the hole, but it's not going to fit at first because this metal here is causing it to go in at an angle. So I'm first going to screw it in through the nylon to a point that it's below the metal. Now I can work with it without having pressure pushed by the metal. So I'm going to do that to all 3 sides. Okay. Now the 3rd side. Okay, and once your 20 or 25 millimeter metric bolts are beyond this metal piece right here, then you can start threading into the 8B piece. So first you're going to you're going to make sure you have a little bit of space so that while the Teflon piece is still in the hole, you can still see the holes that you're going to try to go into with your bolt. So you have to line it up, and you might have to try to force some in to go crooked, but like this nylon piece is warped, so the hole is going to be a crooked hole. So I'm going to try to get that one in first, and then I'm going to finesse the other ones into the holes. And then once I get that initial start going, then it'll be easy from there. So I got the first hole in lined up, second hole in lined up, and now third hole in lined up. Now I'm just going to equally tighten all three at the same time so that the pieces stay parallel to each other. And that's pretty much it. I'm almost done threading the 8B piece. You want to make sure you do this carefully. Okay? Now it's done. As you can see, the bolts have gone completely through to the other side of the 8B piece, and it's completely screwed on. So now I'm just going to remove those bolts, and we won't be using 20 millimeter or 25 millimeter bolts anymore. The purpose of those were just for threading this. So I'm going to take these out and then put in the 30 millimeter bolts the correct way. I'd recommend using the 20mm bolts. I'm using the 25s just because I didn't have any 20mm. That extra 5mm just takes a little bit more time to screw in and screw out. So. Okay. So now when we put in the 30mm bolts, um, the correct way through the 8B piece, you want to try to find the thread that we just cut and not strip that thread so that it goes in the right way. So first, you're going to put the bolts up to the thread and go counterclockwise until you feel a little, like a little dip or a little click, and then you know you got that thread. Then you're going to go then you're going to go clockwise into it. Okay, so one of my bolts fell into my toolbox here. Okay. Okay. Now you just put on your springs